Greetings, face bonkers. It's Mike and Wendy coming at you on a whoop. And I gotta turn my up there I am. I gotta turn my watch party on, so I'm gonna share that as a watch party from my own page. And so if you're watching this from my page, hello, we're over here on the Sunspot page. All right, and now we are live, hanging out on a Tuesday night. It's still a thirsty Tuesday, to tell you the truth, because I am still thirsty.
Oh, yeah. So am I. Oh, an empty glass.
Oh, that is a heartbreaker, Wendy.
But look what I've got.
What do you have? Hold on, let me see that.
It's a little mini.
Oh, it's a little wine.
It's a mini. And actually, it was purchased. I bought it the last time I did a ghost tour in Waukesha.
Oh, very good.
The tour starts right by Discount Liquor. And so when I drive in from Madison, what I do is I stop at Discount Liquor and I use their bathroom, usually before the tour. And then as a thank you, I always make sure I pick up something to help their business. So usually they have like a barrel of these right by the checkout. So I'll grab a few of those, or a water or whatever.
That looks good. So,
but I've had it since then.
All right. So what flavor? What kind of grape are you drinking, Andy?
It's a Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot combo.
Oh, so they took a couple of grapes and mashed them together. And they're getting that too.
A blend, if you will.
Heidi,
what are you drinking?
Discount Liquor. I'm just drinking Johnny Walker. Discount Liquor is the best.
Yeah, Heidi's been there. She lives in Waukesha, so she knows it well.
Yeah. Up and
cheers to my sister.
Yes, cheers to you, Heidi. How you doing today? Stephanie, best spot to start a ghost tour. Stephanie was a ghost tour guide in Milwaukee for a long time.
Yeah.
And
congratulations.
Graduated from the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design today.
Which actually my sister graduated from there too. So that's funny that the two of them
right there. They're next to each other in the chat window. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Speaking of cheers, we got a quick one. Patreon Bart. Cheers to you, Ufta.
Bart!
1, 2, 3, Ufta.
Cheers, Ufta, to ya.
Coming down.
How's it going, buddy?
To Abby. Abby, cheers to you. 1, 2, 3, Ufta.
Ufta, this glass of wine isn't going to last very long.
I was going to say.
And that's okay.
I poured enough. I usually pour enough for like 2 hours of time from when I come down here to prepare and then to when it's all over. And anyway, today was a little more than usual. And Stu. Saying hola.
Hola.
All right, this is it.
Well, I have to say, I try to kind of go easy on the alcohol early in the week.
Sure.
But it's just like been one of those really stressful days with technology issues of all sorts. So it's like, okay, I think I earned a little relaxing glass of wine tonight.
Yes. And if you're watching from my watch party, hello everybody out there. We can't see your comments, but I try to check the comments every couple minutes to see what everybody's doing. All right, so it is Tuesday night, Two-Fer Tuesday, and this is week 8 of the lockdown, at least in Wisconsin, and just hope that everybody is hanging in there, doing their best, and keeping spirits up and everything like that, because that's an important thing to do, especially if like something like Wendy was talking about the ghost tours before. There are no, like right now, ghost tours don't exist in like 85% of the country, and definitely not in Wisconsin. So if you guys are under the same kind of existential threat to your financial lives, just keep hanging in there, and we hope you're doing your best and just thinking about you and trying to send as much positive energy from Wisconsin as we can. We're trying to send you our derriere.
Oh.
Yes.
I see what you did there. That's a good one.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Mark Johnson said he wanted to say hi to help pace us.
Thank you for holding off and giving us a little time, but it's always great to see you, Mark. Thanks for tuning in.
1, 2, 3. To you, sir.
Oopta. I wish we had a punch card for these things because we've been getting some regulars, and I feel
I was
like,
gonna say,
they should be rewarded for
yeah.
their loyalty here.
Well, Stu groaned at my joke. Fair enough. Okay, well
That was bad.
let's kick it off with a song in particular. Okay, so which one do you want to start with? Should we start with Us Versus Them or the other one? What do you think?
Well, I think we should let's talk about the origin of whatever song it is that we're going to do. So which one do you want to talk about first, Mike?
Okay.
So we've got we have, well, obviously the Digging Up the Dead one.
Yes.
These are both songs that were inspired by our paranormal podcast. So they're both going to have kind of weird stories to go with them, but that's always fun. And Us Versus Them, I'm trying to remember which episode that was. That one was from Curses and Pranks from the Rendlesham incident to the Lost Franklin expedition.
Oh.
So which one are you in the mood to talk about first, Mike? We'll get them. We'll get them both eventually.
Let's look at the Us Versus Them first. It's interesting. So Rendlesham, the Rendlesham like UFO incident. Now that's something from 1980, and let me find what we wrote about that. But
is episode 230.
Okay, so it's episode 230, and like I had never really heard about it. I always heard that it was like Britain's Roswell, but I'd never really heard about it until we were at the Paradigm Symposium in Minneapolis, and Peter Robbins, who'd wrote a book on it, delivered like an 1.5 hour long presentation.
Such a fascinating topic.
It is. It's been
because it is a lot like their Roswell. It was,
right.
A military base, and there were soldiers that reported seeing things, including, but not limited to, little tiny Martians.
Yeah.
or little extraterrestrial beings,
right.
as it were.
Well, the good news is that, okay, Scott says my levels are getting low, so I'm going to turn myself up a little bit here. In there. So OtherSidePodcast.com 230 was when we talked about it. We will be talking a lot about Rendlesham this weekend with Nick Redfern, who has just released a new book on Rendlesham. So
awesome.
You guys,
I can't wait to hear what he's got to say about it.
He's got a brand new book, and it's not necessarily about just a UFO sighting, but what he thinks is the secret UK government experiment that was done on the airmen in Rendlesham. So he's got a whole new kind of outlook on it. That he's theorizing. So let me know if you guys can hear me a little better now, if I'm a little louder in the mix. And Steph says she did some paintings for the Franklin expedition. Super cool mystery. It is a super cool mystery.
No way. Awesome.
And if you guys have not...
And your artwork is
awesome.
I was just going to say, like, she does a lot of paranormal themed artwork that is just amazing. So... got to give a shout out to the artists.
Yes, absolutely. So, getting back to the Franklin expedition, if you guys have not had a chance to read The Terror by Dan Simmons, and if you don't get a chance to read it, I understand because it's like 800 pages long, but it's super good. And AMC made a series based on The Terror. And I actually haven't watched all of it yet. I just watched the first episode, but I read the book, and the book is incredible. So if the series is as good as the book, then I think people are going to have a lot of good stuff to look forward to. But in this particular episode, I think one of the big things we were talking about was we had our friend T. Krulos, and from Milwaukee on. He's a Milwaukee ghost tour guide. He's the guy that runs the Milwaukee Paracon, and he's a paranormal author. And he was working in particular about some stuff on the Doomsday Clock and this Doomsday Prepper book that he was releasing. So T was working on this book, and it was we kind of got into a discussion of the culture war, of how people kind of pick their teams, and it's and let me just read to you how we described it in the podcast. One of the things we talked about this week was the culture war between believers and skeptics, but political left and the political right, hardcore atheists and fundamentalists. This conflict has seemed to progress from just disagreeing about dogma and particular points of belief to cancel culture. The idea that if someone believes something you find offensive or has done something you don't like, you want to take away their means of making a living. So it's a scorched earth total war tactic that's become more and more popular in the world of social media, particularly Twitter. You say the wrong thing on Twitter and they will cut your dick off. It's no longer enough
that's not nice.
to agree to disagree. The other side has to be shunned or disrespected. There's little room for debate or discussion. You're either with us or against us. Now, we see this all the time in the paranormal world between various factions of ghost hunters, ufologists, etc. And I guess I don't feel that's very conducive to finding the truth because things aren't usually absolute or black and white as we'd like them to be. So that's the idea behind this particular song, Us Versus Them. So let us jump into that business right here. And I forgot about that episode. That was a good one, and that was nice to talk to T. And he's
about a year ago or so.
Yes, it all starts blending together as we getting old. Okay, here we go. A little live we just put together today.
Us versus them, right versus wrong. Oh, won't you tell me just what side you're on? It's total war and you gotta make a stand. You plant your flag and fight down to the last man. There is no middle, there is no excuse, there is no compromise, and there is no truce. Us versus them, right versus wrong. Oh, won't you tell me just what side you're on? You're either with us or against us. You're on or off the team. We don't need to talk or negotiate with the enemy. No, we don't make no deals. No, we don't cross the line. We made our choice, we picked a side, and now we're ride or die. Us versus them, right versus wrong. Oh, won't you tell me just what side you're on? Us versus them, right versus wrong. Oh, won't you tell me just what side you're on? Well, oh, it's just us and them. Oh, it's just us and them. Well, it's just us and them. Yeah, it's just us and them. Oh, it's just us and them. Yeah, it's just us and them. Oh, it's just us and them. Just us versus them.
You know what I didn't do there was the ooh at the end that I do at every single one of these videos.
Oh
To
yeah,
add the-
or you do some little thing that startles me or something.
Yeah, I say something stupid at the end. Okay, so that's Us Versus Them. Thank you, Abby. Bravo. We'll take that. That's from OtherSidePodcast.com,
Hey,
episode
thank you.
230. And to think that that was like 62 episodes ago kind of blows my mind because you're like,
January 2019.
yeah, 2019. You're like,
So that was
what
like a year and a half ago, more
happened to
like
time.
January 7th, 2019.
Right. So it's just like I was still hungover from New Year's Eve. All right. So, we might have lost Wendy for a second there. We'll wait till she comes back in. Sometimes Skype can be funny, you know. Um, but to anybody out there that's hanging out on a Tuesday with us, it was kind of a rainy, gloomy day all day. So it's hard to stay, in a good mood when you just look outside. You're like, will it ever be summer again? We did have, it was ended up being a nice weekend. So we hope that you guys got a little bit of outside time, a little bit of vitamin D. Seems to cure what ails you. At least it seems to help me. So as far as paranormal stuff I've been looking at lately, next week they're going to be live streaming the house from The Conjuring for an entire week. So that house in Rhode Island, it's not where the movie The Conjuring, it wasn't shot there or whatever, but the story that the movie is based on is from the house. And it was bought by two ghost hunters just in 2019. And so they're calling it Quarantined with the Dead. And so for $20, you can buy a 24-hour live stream of a week of what happens inside the house. And they're going to have nightly seances, Ouija board sessions. They're going to bring back some of the people from the original, some of the family, the Perron family, to go, and some of those original family members to go and try to get some activity there that hopefully will be captured by a ton of cameras over the week. So that looks like a fun thing. And hopefully we can all check that out. I'm thinking about checking it out just to see if anybody actually does get something fun and cool from the Conjuring house over those weeks. Did anybody see the season finale of Westworld? Right? All right. Oh, I think Wendy's coming back here. And then we can bring her back into the fold here. And
I hear a voice.
There she is. Yes. From out of nowhere, Wendy. Here's the voice. There we are, coming back. We missed you. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was scared. I was scared.
My day
alone, cold.
My day of bad technology is now complete, as pretty much every single possible thing has now failed on me. And
I hear you.
Wow, is that frustrating? That is beyond ridiculously annoying.
I definitely hear you. The bad tech days are the worst. So, Mark, you saw the end. What'd you think about the end of Westworld? Now, Wendy, have you seen that?
Oh, no spoiler.
Okay, we won't spoil it. Just say, Mark, did you like it? Did you like season 3 or not? So just say that. Just in the reason I'm wondering is because season 3 is super different. And
yeah, I know. I haven't started it yet, and I'm quite eager to, actually.
But one of the reasons I enjoyed season 3 is because it follows kind of the same trajectory as the sequel to Westworld. So the original sequel to Westworld, the 1973 Michael Crichton one with Yul Brynner as the bad guy. Shout out to the Pharaoh from the Ten Commandments. But Yul Brynner is the bad guy. Oh, Mark's like, I'm not sure yet. Okay, I appreciate
still
that.
Digesting it.
Still thinking about it. Okay, I'm with you. I can get you.
That's fair.
But the movie Future World was the sequel to Westworld, and
right.
It had the same kind of idea that these robots that were humans, indistinguishable from humans, but then it showed the world of the future. And so that's what they kind of get to into season 3 of the Westworld TV show. And I think that's fun. I just like seeing futuristic cities and stuff. I like to see the near future and how they, I believe they did most of their shooting in Singapore. Because Singapore has all these crazy, huge buildings and stuff. And so the backdrop can look totally futuristic. Anyway, that's the only TV I've watched all week. So that's why I was like, hey, does anybody else see that? I'm dying for human contact. I've been in a basement for a week.
Yeah, you need some sunlight, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, just wondering about that. And Wendy, while you were gone, we were also talking about the Conjuring house going live on May 7th.
Yeah.
Or no, is it starting Thursday? It might be starting on Friday. But live for a week or whatever, to see if anybody catches any paranormal stuff.
So is it going to be are they going to have, you can look at different cameras, or is it just one feed, or what's a, because it'd be neat if they had cameras all over the house and then you could like tune into different ones and choose which one you want to look at a given time.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. It's going to
Okay.
be, it's
That's
not just
cool.
going to be one camera, because that would be a total letdown. Like, I don't think they're going to have cameras in their
Well,
bathrooms.
I
Which
mean, I'm just saying,
if
like,
I'm paying $20, I want to see a camera in a bathroom.
but they could have it be like a hosted thing where the camera's just on a person who's, like us chatting with people or whatever
Right.
the whole time. And in that case, they would have control over what's being seen versus the actual viewer choosing
The weak sauce.
and possibly like maybe seeing something like, ooh,
That's what you
what's
hope
that?
for. You hope for a chair
What is
moving
that?
or something.
Right.
You want to see a chair move. You want to see something jump out. You want to see one of the people get eaten.
No, I want to see like a full body apparition. Like
Yes.
I want to see a ghosty
I want to
go
see
floating by.
I want to see the full body apparition eat Andrea Perron. Because she's going to be there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're
Wait, how
having
is-
special guests and stuff come into the house. Like, they're going to do Ouija
Wait,
board
that's-
sessions every night. And
We're not supposed to do that. I thought social distancing. What the hell?
I don't know. Oh,
Are they
that's a
immune
good-
to it?
That's a good question.
I thought we weren't supposed to like share households.
You're-
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
who
the
knows?
state
I mean, who
has
knows
lax laws.
who knows what Rhode Island's doing? Like, Rhode Island may have a totally different thing. Wow, Mike,
Yeah.
that got dark pretty quick. Well, I'm just saying.
It does happen.
I'm just saying. I'm just looking for the excitement here of what could happen in that kind of session, because that would make me a believer real fast. And I know Andrea. I think she'd be okay with it. She'd be like, "Well, I told you this thing was trying to get me, and it ate me on camera." Right? Or maybe just take a bite out of her leg or something. But if you see a full body apparition take a bite out of somebody's leg, you're gonna believe. Like, that's gonna be great. She's a legacy.
That would be
She's a
compelling.
legacy, right? Come back, get back there and see what happens. It's like when you
Yeah.
It's like when you bring back Jamie Lee Curtis for a Halloween movie.
I can't say that I would, after hearing what supposedly happened in that household,
Right.
can't say I'd be real excited about returning if I were her or
Right.
any of the family members. I mean, it sounded like a living nightmare. Corona even ruins
Ruins
ghost hunting. I
hunting.
know.
Yeah, that's
it's
how
sad.
it feels. You're just thinking like,
All of the fun.
it's not fair what's happening, that it interferes with our paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
Well, we can still do, you can still do social distancing paranormal investigations, I guess. I mean, ghosts are the greatest social distancers of all, because they just don't show up when you need them to. And Bigfoot.
Are they though? Are they? Because for all you know, there could be a ghost 2 inches from your face, just breathing droplets all over you right now.
Well,
Eh?
I would.
I'm
that would-
just saying.
I don't know what, as far as the supernatural transmission vector is for a ghost, but I would be very interested to learn that. I wonder, okay, so when people talk about events, we've talked about this with tulpas before, right? So we're talking about events that shape the planet, events that like take everybody's mental energy, events that everybody thinks about at the same time. I think that in my documentary class, I learned that there was more footage of World War II taken than any of the movies and TV, like all of them put together around the world, released until like 1970 or something like that. So there's just so much footage of this one thing. There was so much psychic energy spent. Not psychic energy like, oh, I can see the future, but energy from your brain, mental energy spent.
Well, I mean, it's what was going on, like.
Right, it's what was going on. But there's so much spent on this one thing, so much pain, obviously, so much sadness, so much tragedy, so much heroism at the same time. There's the moments of humans at their best, in addition to moments of humans at their very, very worst. I just wonder, like, what kind of psychic dent this will leave when it comes to ghosts, folklore, supernatural. Obviously, conspiracy theories are out they're through the wazoo. We did a whole episode about it back when the coronavirus seemed like fun. Not fun, but it didn't seem like it was going to end the world or whatever. You were just like, oh yeah, well, even the at the time, everybody's like, don't sweat it. And they were wrong. They so like what
Right.
what changed?
Even the CDC page like deceived us.
Yeah.
But they didn't know. They didn't know at the time. It was too novel.
Too novel.
Trop novel pour nous.
But the thing is that you just wonder, like, in 5 years, how are we going to look at it? I mean, I guess we're still in the middle of living it. So the story's yet to be written of what's going to happen and what happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And but you think of the psychic toll that the Great Depression took on people. My grandparents sold their wedding rings. They had sold their car. They they had a house, and then they just ended up renting for the rest of their lives. So
oh my gosh.
So like,
well, and
go ahead.
It's interesting because I was reading about the Great Depression and how they coped with, how the coping mechanisms people were using at that time.
Yeah.
And one of the big things,
drinking.
Well, yeah, no, but one of the big things was actually going to the movies. Because movie theaters were kind of new, and it was an affordable thing. It was very inexpensive, and you could go and let the movie kind of take your mind off of things, and you would be able to be with your friends and stuff like that. Well, I mean, obviously, we can't go to them. Are the movie theaters ever going to open up again? But luckily, we have our alternative, which is every possible media thing we could ever want to watch in our TV. So, but I just thought that was an interesting thing. But no, you're right. Have to sacrifice things that are important to you, that are sentimental and whatnot.
Well, I mean, that's just what's going to, like, I just wonder how people are going to be looking back at it. Is the real thing. Like, when we compare it to, like, how we look back in history. Now, Mark says, sadly, nursing homes could be a paranormal hotspot down the line. I agree with that thought. I feel like the hospices, even without the coronavirus, I have one of my wife's cousins works in a hospice, and he is not into paranormal stuff, but he heard I was into paranormal stuff, and he was like, he's like, shit goes down at the hospice.
Oh, of course it does.
Well, I didn't think about that. I mean, he just, I know shit goes down because people die. I think that the place that you go there because it's the place where people will never return. And it's supposed to be the last place is nice. It's pleasant. It's a good way to say goodbye. It's comfortable. All these kind of things to make the end of life as comfortable as possible. But he just says the way that the people saw ghosts, like the people who were dying would see ghosts, or they'd go into the room afterwards and have some kind of paranormal phenomena happen after the person had passed away. It seems like a great, it's hard to say great. It's hard to say great about any of this stuff, but it seems like a good place to do some kind of paranormal research or some kind of study.
Well, the thing is, when you consider the fact that, it is a place where people often expire and their life ends. And usually it's also a place where people are with family members and people who love them and people who might not necessarily have been with someone as they leave this world, So you figure that's such an emotional, such a unique experience, and it's happening like almost every day there, So it's bound to have, even if it's not paranormal, just the sheer intensity of emotions going on in a place like that. I mean, would be enough to, I don't know.
Well, we had somebody contact my sister about a ghost story that she worked at. Is it a Grace in Madison? I keep on thinking of it of agave. I'm like, is it because it's Cinco de Mayo and I had a margarita for dinner.
You've got tequila brain, Mike.
Taquitos. We had some taquitos. It was very good. But trying to still celebrate a little bit, even though we can't go to the Mexican place, Laredo's or whatever. But she contacted. She's like, I don't even think she knew that we had a Madison ghost tour or anything like that. She was just trying to contact someone that she looked up ghosts, and my sister, and she was like, "Oh my God, at a Grace Hospital, we have had so many experiences." And she's like, before I was not a firm believer in the afterlife, which is one of the reasons she got into helping people the comfort at the end of their life. If you don't think there's anything after, you want to make that end as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, sure.
And she's like, I believe it now. I believe it. And so,
Wow.
and she's like, I got several stories too. So I've just been waiting to. Hasn't been a priority, unfortunately, because it's not like a place you can take people on a tour. You know what I mean? You're not
Yeah,
like,
and it's not
this
really
is the
kind of
hospice,
place.
everybody.
And if you consider, if you're there with a loved one who's, going through something, the last thing you want to see is some a-hole that's like with his ghost meter, like, oh, I'm doing an investigation.
Well,
like, no,
Oh, I think you're next.
like this is our moment. You get out of here.
Right. That's what I mean. You got to concentrate on like the places with you have a history. But I think as far as paranormal investigation, it would be an interesting book. I think for someone around
definitely.
that.
Hear
Abby's like,
stories from other people.
she said her grandma was seeing people who had passed right before she died in the hospital. That is that's a
Wow.
super common thing. I mean, not discounting your grandmother's experience, but that just seems to be, people will say like, they'll call out names. They'll say like, they'll see it. And it's not even necessarily delirium or anything. Mark, my dad said he'd seen as an assisted living place before he passed too. So
Aw.
it's that, getting, as the veil is thinning, you can see through it kind of thing.
Wow. Well, now that's a good segue to digging up the dead, huh?
Dave
No.
Schweck, right? That is a good segue. Dave Schweckel's got a story. It's like, over the weekend, my mother-in-law talked about her sister who had passed the day before. Well, I'm sorry if you lost a family member this weekend, Dave.
Aw.
Said he felt a tap on the shoulder, and a few seconds later, aluminum foil moved in the sink. So maybe
Interesting.
somebody was in the room with you, Dave.
Yeah, a little sign maybe.
Yeah, and that can be a happy sign. And that's even though, I mean, obviously, I'm like, even though I've got the green screen behind me, whatever, so it looks like I'm on a fabulous stage, I'm really in a scary basement.
Yeah, you need that dungeon background.
It is. Like I am in the dungeon down
The
here.
catacombs.
And, I could put up the dungeon background, and it would look like safer than where I actually am.
Murder Castle.
Right. A little H.H. Holmes action there. So that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to put on a song, Wendy. This particular one, Abby's like, things get dark. This is based on a dark.
Oh, man.
This is based on a dark story.
This and the thing that is just staggering about this story is how recently it occurred in the grand timeline of things. Like when you hear about different superstitions and rituals and things people, witch burning and whatnot, and then you think about the fact that it was not even, a little over 100 years ago or something. That's what blows my mind. So, Mike, do you want to share the story?
Sure. I mean, this particular story happened. This is 5 years before my grandparents were born. So all my grandparents were born like 1897, and this happens in 1892. And we first heard this story from the venerable Jeff Belanger from New England
Yes.
Legends. Jeff, who actually grew up, speaking of The Conjuring, Jeff grew up next to the Warrens in Connecticut. And so he's been interested in the paranormal all his life. And
Ed and Lorraine.
Warren, right.
Borrow a cup of sugar from them.
Right. A cup of evil sugar. So Jeff told us a story about this girl named Mercy Brown. Now, Mercy's family in Rhode Island, 1892, you get to the wintertime, and they started being affected by, what was everybody getting at the time? Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, yeah.
But the reason they had all the sanitariums and stuff. And so Mercy gets tuberculosis. And shortly after, I believe her father passes away, and then her brother gets really sick. And so everybody's the superstitious kind. And they're like, oh, there's something going on if Mercy's father and brother, father dies right away and the brother gets sick, then it's got to be more than just a disease. Something must be cursing this family. Something must be hurting the Browns. And so what happens is the local demonologist. I don't think it was a sheriff or whatever. But some of the local townspeople, we have to figure out what's happening to the Brown family. So let's find out what's happening to the body of Mercy Brown. And the thing is, because it was wintertime when she had died, her body wasn't interred into the ground yet, because the ground was still frozen. So they had to wait until the thaw in order to put her body in the ground. And as they went to go into the cold barn where her body was being kept, her body looked super fresh because it was in the cold, New England winter. And also because of, after you pass the kind of the gases and the internal organs and everything that happens on your innards and everything, and you get bloated for a little bit and stuff. I know it's gross, but this is what happens.
Speaking of, yeah,
some blood had popped out of her mouth.
Oh,
and so they see the body; it's super fresh looking body, and then there's blood on her lips, and they well, obviously, you know what? She's a vampire. And she is the reason that this family is cursed. She killed her father after she died, and she's hurting her brother. So they say the only way that we can kill the vampire and save the brother is, remove the heart of the vampire. So cut her open during the daytime when she can't escape, remove the heart of the vampire, burn the heart, and then feed the brother the ashes of the heart.
And I mean, this is the thing is, so this was in 1892. So 130 years ago,
right.
When you consider civilization, that's like yesterday, right? And I'm just imagining these people, these townspeople gathering together, and it said it was part of the New England vampire panic. So there was a thing where people just actually believed. Yeah. But I'm just imagining the townspeople gathering and saying, this is the problem. Okay, here's how we fix it. Dig your daughter out of her grave and, take her heart out. And just the goriness of it all. And it's, oh, man, it boggles my mind. It really does.
Well, how numb that mother must be in the first place. How numb the family members must be. Because you lose your daughter, you lose your husband, and then you're about, you think you're going to lose your son. And they say the only way that you can save your son, after you lost your two family members, the only way you can save your son is if you cut into your daughter's dead body, rip out her heart, set it on fire, and feed the ashes to her sick brother. And so,
I know, it's just so sad. And then the family that's already been through so much, now they have to go through this.
And they do. Too. And they do. They cut the heart out, and they burned the heart, and they fed the ashes to the brother. And it didn't help. He still died of tuberculosis.
And probably also traumatized.
Right.
From, psychological trauma.
I mean, mainly because Mercy Brown wasn't a fucking vampire. Newsflash.
Yeah.
And so it's a, horrible thing. I mean, at least she was already dead. But the desecration of the body, it's a very sad, gross story. But he tells us that story, and we're like, well, good story, Jeff. Thanks. And so for the song that episode, and we've had a chance at paranormal conventions to now play this song for Jeff multiple times. And for the song for that episode, we decided to use Mercy Brown's story as the inspiration, because that idea that you can solve today's problems by rehashing by reopening old wounds. That just doesn't work. And so this song is called Digging Up the Dead.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rusty nails and up the dead. There are things that should be left alone, they're not for man to touch. The past is just a shallow grave that's best left in the dust. We keep kicking the pale horse till the blood just turns to rust. And you can't cheat the devil by remembering too much. Lord, grant us mercy from afar. Forgive the prayers we should have said. Whoa, you can burn up my heart and eat the ashes that I left. But you're just digging up the dead. Well, you're just digging up the dead. Oh, you're just digging up the dead. Well, you're just digging up the dead. Oh, 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 you're just digging up the dead. Well, you're just digging up the dead.
Okay. That's the feel good
All the
song.
Wendy's at the end.
The feel good song of the summer. That's like I just get stuck in the corner. Just gotta get
Well,
put
I
in my
like-
place.
I like the nice thing about these videos is that, like, because when we play live, I have to pick which of the violin melodies I'm going
Yes.
to play, and so then I feel like, oh man, I missed that one other melody, and then so with the videos, I can put them all in, and
I
that's
like
that.
So yeah, digging up the dead. And Wendy, you said that was episode 152.
152.
Jeff Belanger. Yes.
Yes.
Talented guy.
Haunted.
He did him and Dave Schrader from Darkness Radio and the Holzer Files did a Cinco de makeover today, where their
gosh.
daughters both gave them a makeup makeover on camera, and we're probably not going to do that on Sunspot.
I think it's a little late for that now anyway.
Yeah, nobody wants to.
At this point.
No, but I mean, it's like nobody's gonna watch me get made over for a half an hour.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, oh, thanks, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
We miss seeing you live in person too.
Yes.
No, it just made me think of the time that we played at Chicks Rock Fest in Cincinnati, and we thought it would be really funny if Mike and Ben just, dressed in drag as and they did, and it was funny, but like nobody else seemed to think it was funny except for me, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my God!
What was it? It
that
was
two-
Michelle and Brenda or something
Michelle
like
and
that. We
Brenda.
introduced you.
Yeah, 2000 and was that 2007? Was that the Viper Room? There was a Viper Club or something like that. It wasn't the Viper Room. It was there was a Viper Club in Cincinnati,
Yeah,
and
that's a cool room.
that was an awesome place. And anyway, we thought for Chicks Rock Fest, because we'd been playing there for years, it had a great time. And the idea of Chicks Rock Fest was that you just had celebrate women in music, and oftentimes Wendy was the one of the few female drummers there.
But also, oftentimes, most of the bands were female-fronted bands,
Right.
so we would come on stage and people would be like, "What's going on?" What the two dudes.
Right.
So we were like, "Okay, well, let's have some fun here," And,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I the thing
Didn't
is,
you have like a Dorothy costume or something?
I believe I did. I'm a good-looking woman, and so it was a funny thing.
It's the goatee.
No, I didn't have a goatee at the time. I did do though in college. I remember I did do a video project where two trans males. I mean, whatever. In 1996, I don't know how you'd say it. And we were both like it was two like female impersonators or drag queens that were having a fight in a discussion, and it was an interesting script from like one of the students, and it was a really good script, and we worked really hard on the performance and stuff like that. But now when I watch it, I didn't shave my goatee for the performance because we weren't getting paid or whatever. So I'm not going to shave my goatee for this.
What? That takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, my face was already kind of fat, so I needed the goatee.
Mike.
Anyway, I didn't shave, so now when I watch it, I'm like, it would have been much like.
Well,
it'd have been a much believable student video project if I would have shaved. That's all.
Oh dear. Well, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. I did not realize that I'd be thinking about those video projects 25 years later. Yep, Stephanie, you missed. You would have enjoyed Brenda and Michelle. You probably would have been the only one. Brenda, you would probably be one of the few who would have gotten the joke that night. We thought it was great. We always thought it was funny. Like, I remember when we busted out, so to speak, we busted out a heavy metal cover in 9 to 5, and we thought we were the most clever people. We were like, this is going to be fun. Like, the people that get it are going to be like, this is sweet. So we set it up where Ben was coming out of backstage with 2 balloons in his shirt, like he had Dolly Parton-sized bosoms. And so we're like, this is going to be funny. Everybody's drunk. It's going to be great. And we come out, and like nobody even remembered 9 to 5 there. And they're just like...
And to be fair, it was funny.
Yeah, we're like, we're going to knock them dead. Yeah, we knocked them all right. Knocked them so that they didn't get the joke. And we're like, I guess that song was cool. What is it? I'm like, it's 9 to 5 from the movie. With Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda and Dolly Parton. They tie up Dabney Coleman. Come on here. I just see that in the theater. Like, it stuck with me. Anyway, I'm just thinking about that. We could do a whole show. Maybe we should do that on Thursday. We should go into the Sunspot nights that completely... The Sunspot...
That just...
The jokes that tanked.
Dropped like lead balloons. Yeah.
Because it'll often...
And the great thing is...
Go ahead.
It always starts out with us just being super excited about it. Like, this is the best idea ever. And then putting a ton of work into it. Like, okay, the audience is going to love this so much. And then we're like all excited, really proud of how it turns out. And then it's like no one responds. It's just crickets chirping.
Yeah. It's total crickets chirping. And what's great, as Stephanie says, those uncultured swine.
Yes, thank you.
Agreed.
Here.
But
atta girl.
It's just a funny thing because we always have these ideas. And we're like, man, this is gonna kill. Or we work on a cover, and it takes us like 2 weeks to work out like a sweet version, and then we're like, this is gonna be funny and clever.
Yeah, like Don't Fear the Reaper when we did that one for Halloween.
Okay.
That was so cool. And nobody thought it was cool.
So we do a Halloween show, and at the time, we were putting up like TVs at the side of the stage, and we were playing like content on the TVs appropriate to what we were doing, like that was synced up. And at the end of Neanderthal, we'll sometimes go into a cover song for the very end for like a fun thing. And we've done like Du Hast by Rammstein, Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth, Master of Puppets by Metallica. We probably done like 10 different ones.
Yeah.
And for that one, it was Halloween. And so we did like half of Don't Fear the Reaper, but we did it along, synced perfectly with the introduction. So the beginning of Stephen King's The Stand, the miniseries, is Don't Fear the Reaper played over all these dead bodies inside the military research station where Captain Trips, the virus, was released. And like it's synced up, it looked awesome, like we had it nailed, and then we're playing someplace, and those hayseeds just didn't get it at all. Like we're doing it,
I think,
and we're like kicking ass on it too. And I'm like, boy, I'm like, why does no one care? Even if they don't care about the coolness, they could have been like, Don't Fear the Reaper's a sweet song.
As memory serves me, it was at the Annex, and they even had like the projector on the screen that was behind the stage.
I think actually, Wendy, I don't want to correct you. I believe we did "Don't Fear the Reaper" at it was in Marshfield. And
Yeah, but I think we did it at the Annex too.
Okay, I thought at the Annex what we did was we did the Super Mario one, where we had the Mario games playing behind us.
At the Annex? We did that in Rockford.
Yeah, we did it 2 nights in a row.
And also at the Dry Bean.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up because if we did it at the Annex and it bombed, then I'm gonna tell all my friends. Then I'm gonna.
I swear it was at the Annex.
Then I'm gonna unfriend all the people I know in Madison.
I will wager a friendly bet that it was at the Annex.
If I was still friends with half the people I know who came to see us at the Annex, and they thought it was lame, we're done. We're done professionally.
Same.
You might be right. We'll have to look in the archives.
That
thing is
the year we were at the Terminators or something. Anyway, I don't know. We're just going down memory lane again.
Sorry. Sometimes it's
all
fun
we have.
to think. Right. It's all we have.
The memories.
When we can't rock for you guys. When we can't rock in front of you guys. Bart's like, sounds cool to me. Hell yeah, Bart. It was cool. You are correct,
Yeah,
sir.
You would have appreciated it. I know you would, but Bart tends to appreciate the stuff that we put a lot of work into.
Yes.
So thanks, Bart.
You know, I want to kick out one more.
And Mark too. Mark said it sounds cool too.
Yes. Oh shit. Yeah. Hey, you know what, guys? Since we were talking about the Conjuring thing, here's a video I feel is underappreciated. And it's something that I know Scott worked very hard on.
Yeah.
After, when we were at the old South Pittsburgh Hospital. No, so okay, let's go back. South Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
That's the scene.
South Pittsburgh, Tennessee is about the size of the town I grew up in, Big Bend, like 1,300 people. So South Pittsburgh, they had like a steel mine there, right? And they thought South Pittsburgh was going to be like another amazing...
It was going to be like the new Pittsburgh, the new Steeler city.
Right. And it didn't... So they called it South Pittsburgh. It didn't work, though. It didn't take. And so South Pittsburgh ended up being like Black River Falls, the Wisconsin death trip. Like once the miners go, the business, went. But there was a hospital in South Pittsburgh that was open in 1959 and it closed like in 2000. And people had always had weird experiences there, and they opened it up to be a place where you could go ghost hunting. And so we had met the manager of South Pittsburgh Hospital near St. Louis at the Alton convention. And she's like, y'all should come down here. And we were on our way to South by Southwest, and we're like, well, we were looking at, okay, should we stop in Nashville? Or should we stop in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee? And we did it, and we ended up having a great time. We saw a couple, we didn't really see, Wendy and I heard a couple of weird things in the hospital. But it's this, like, there's no lights. There's no, it was cold in the Tennessee.
It's an abandoned building, basically, for all intents and purposes.
And it was the home base of the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, who had the shows Ghost Asylum and Haunted Towns. And so the Tennessee
Chasing Wraiths!
They're chasing wraiths in Tennessee. But those are nice guys. Scott's been on our show and from the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, and he's a super nice guy. And but we had South Pittsburgh was a lot of fun. And we ended up interviewing a lady, and then we just stayed there all night and ghost hunted to our heart's content.
And we froze our buns off in that place.
So cold.
It was so cold.
I believe it was warmer in Wisconsin that night than it was in Tennessee.
It was brutal.
And we're just crawling through this place and like wandering around trying to see. The third floor was the old children's wing. So that was the place that people would leave dolls, and they would leave like little toys to try to get the kids' ghosts to do something. And the most unnerving moment for me is we walk into the children's wing, and the first thing I see is actually the toy drum set that, Wendy, that you had gotten for my daughter.
Yeah.
It was like right there. And I was like, oh God, is that a sign? because I'm like, you're right there. Like we're in the children's wing, and I'm like, weird. But right down from there is where we decided to shoot. We set up a bunch of cameras, and Scott set up a thermal camera and the full range camera to try to see if we could get anything in the background while we played in the dark, and tried to use music as a ghost activator. And so, we put it up, and like most things on our YouTube channel, 80 people watched it. So what we're going to do, we're going to play it for you guys tonight and see what you think. So this is us doing a live version of American Monsters.
With frozen fingers.
Oh my God, it was so cool. So the guitar on this sucks balls, and it's totally because I can.
Yeah, and the violin too is probably super out of tune.
I cannot feel my fingers. It's like that Weekend song, I Can't Feel My Face, except it's with fingers, and then it sounds bad on guitar.
I can't feel my fingers when I'm in a haunted hospital, but I like it.
So here is us, American Monsters, at the haunted Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and with the editing and the direction and all that stuff, Scott Marcus.
Woohoo.
Here we go.
Hello.
I'm Mike. This is Wendy. We're a band. I like singing about weird stuff. I like talking to people on the other side.
Do you like music?
Welcome to the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Oh, we were wondering what's under the bed. Something's growing
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Talking to you, you better watch what you say. Brenda, the only scary thing is your black eyes in the full spectrum video. Yikes.
I know. And I look like I'm blonde.
Yeah, that was the obvious. And I'm sitting there. I keep on pushing my hair to my eyes because I haven't had a haircut. Oh, thank you, Abby.
Thank you.
Mark, that was really cool. Too bad you didn't catch anything in the background. A unique scenario for
Yeah. I know. It would have been so. I was really hopeful that somebody would spot something, but.
Well, I tell you,
Alas.
the thing about that particular place is that it was condemned. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
It was like right after we were there.
Right.
It was like the same year we were there.
Because they were gonna do St. Patrick's Day. It was like the next week. Because we were there like March 12th, and they were gonna do like this big St. Patrick's Day thing with the Tennessee Wraith Chasers at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and then it was condemned. Because they were like, and there was, some black mold there. I'm sure I have some permanent damage from the ghost hunting.
Oh yeah, no, it was gross. Like, yeah, there's no question about it.
But that's funny though when I think about it, that we had like the last chance, to get in there.
But then it reopened. I've heard that people have been in there since then. So.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
All right, cool. Hey,
who knows what the current status quo is?
All right, if you guys are watching on my watch party, everybody, hi. I'm sorry I missed your comments. We were busy chatting here in the Sunspot thing, but otherwise we
only have room for so many windows.
Right. But either way, it was a great time talking to you guys tonight. And
yeah,
Wendy and I,
thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back with Ben.
Yay!
On Thursday night for another Thirsty Thursday. And we're gonna have some new Sunspot songs for you that night. New videos, more
more quarantine videos,
more dumb tour stories, like the whole deal. But the thing is, this is so much fun to be able to hang out with everybody.
Yeah, we're thankful to be able to connect with and stay in touch with you guys while we're here in rectangles.
You know how hard it is.
I'm in my rectangle.
Right. Right there.
It's still funny every time.
It is to me. But the thing is, it's good to connect because, I was just thinking about this. My parents, I've talked to them on the phone. They've gone to the doctor maybe twice, but they haven't gone for their groceries or whatever. My brother-in-law is getting their groceries and things. And so,
that's nice.
They haven't had a chance to really leave their house in 2 months.
Oh,
and stuff.
Man,
and so like the FaceTime videos we do and the talking and is there a chance to connect? My dad, I don't think my dad, I think that makes. He's probably like, I don't even want to see other people. I think that's happy. But my mother thrives on social contact, and so she's always on the phone. And so it's a hard time, especially for the people that thrive on social contact. And so, and I certainly do, and I thrive on the energy. When you're talking to people, we're hanging out at shows, we're going to see other bands, all the kind of stuff that we've been doing for now over half of our lives is the kind of stuff that gets me excited and makes me want to keep going, And so this kind of thing really has been a big help. Oh, Stacy, how you doing? Stacy gets the last,
Stacy!
As a Patreon, she gets the last toast of the night. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Oofta, the bottom of the glass.
Hitting the bottom. Thank you, Stacy. But
good to see you, Stacy. Hope you're doing well.
Yes,
and we love you too.
This is such an important thing. And the last thing we want to make sure we say is that obviously we were shouting out to our Patreon community tonight. People like Stacy, Bart, Mark, Abby, Stu. If I missed anybody, it's because I just did 6 ounces of Johnny Walker. But
Lisa.
Oh, I didn't see Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
I saw her in your watch party.
Oh shit! Well, I missed her in the watch party. Well,
it's your party.
I know it's my party, and I'll cry if I want to.
There you go.
But either way, if this is the kind of thing that you guys enjoy or want to keep coming back to or want to keep supporting, please check out just our silly Patreon. And the more people we have, the more cool stuff we can do. And because of all the Patreons we got in the past month, we've had a great chance of doing more of these kind of videos and spending more time on it. So all of that, everything.
And we didn't have to sell the van.
Right.
So it's there for us when this ends.
I had to sell the tires. So it's going to be a rough summer until we get new tires. But that's
man.
Mark, like
Mark.
all of the like everybody, we just appreciate your time and that kind of thing. So for those of you who are joining us, we love you so much. For those of you who are Patreons, your support does it.
Thank you.
Like it really goes a long way. And it means a lot. So thank you for joining us tonight. And everybody,
truly.
if it's something you're interested in doing, please check out that. And if you don't support us, that's completely fine. Support an artist that you do like. Go out there and do it. Or tip somebody you see, some jackass playing acoustic guitar and he's just like, hey, I've got a Venmo. I don't even know what a Venmo is. Give him $1.
And if you can't, because obviously everybody's going through tough times,
areas
like just keep watching and keep listening to your favorite bands and keep, throwing out your little verbal support, because that is very meaningful too. So we appreciate everything we get from everybody. Thank you. The fact that you take your time to watch our silly videos and listen to our songs and everything it means the world to us. So thank you.
And that's why we keep doing it. And we're going to do it again on Thursday with some new songs. And so thank you for listening to our PBS auction segment.
Yeah, it is like a telethon.
Right. But the thing is, we have a new song, more music coming on Thursday night. And then a live stream, like we said before, Rendlesham Forest. We got we're going to have Nick Redfern on. And if you guys have not read any of Nick Redfern's books, they're awesome paranormal books. And so it's always great to have him on. And we're talking about his brand new book on England's Roswell. And he's English too. So you'll hear an authentic accent. And not just me trying to be funny.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys have a great night. We will see you in a couple of days. Hey, stay positive, stay healthy. Keep your head up, because we are going to get through this and we're going to get out of it. And on the other side, we are going to party together. So we'll oofda with you in a couple of days.
All right. Take care, everybody.